Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Convention Center and welcome to the 2021 Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony. This is our 40th Hall of Fame induction ceremony tonight, so we're very proud of that. We welcome you to the dinner tonight and we celebrate the accomplishments of athletes and coaches and administrators from this community, and we also welcome in the new 10 members of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. We ask you now to please turn your attention to the back of the hall as all our honorees will be coming through the door escorted by members of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley. First, Denae Fritz, presented by her mom, Carrie Stevens, escorted by Kaden McElroy. Caitlyn Reilly, presented by her dad, Spencer Reilly, escorted by Micaiah Blair and Tatum Carter. Christian Langlewis, presented by his dad, Nathan Langlewis, escorted by Tathila Clark. Lance Simpson, escorted by Kaylee Gibbons. Dan Flescher, escorted by Kirsten Wilson. Michelle Marciniak, escorted by Orrin McBean. Peter Maldotti, escorted by Cameron Wise. Carly Pearson, escorted by Trace Skates. Heather Sumter Blakemore, escorted by Autumn Scrimp. Mickey Deerstone, escorted by Abigail Siebert. Donnie Graham, escorted by Lakeland Lemons. Chris Grower, escorted by Nate Goosey. Lee Guterman, escorted by Colton Wise. Charlie Patrone, escorted by Alicia Wheeler. And Jay Wise, escorted by Blakely Skates. Let's welcome the honorees in the class of 2021 of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Now would you please stand for our invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the Boys and Girls Club Code. Our invocation tonight will be given by Grace Fannin, a 7th grader at Halls Middle School and a member of the DeBusk Family Club.
Please bow your head for a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, I would like to thank you for my Boys and Girls Club and allowing me to be here today. I want to ask you that you bless this food that we are going to receive for nourishment of our bodies. We know that many are called, but only few are chosen. So thank you for all the amazing athletes and coaches being honored and all their talents and gifts that they share. We thank you today and every day. Amen.
Amen. Nice job. Thank you, Grace. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Phoenix McBean, a 7th grader at Halls Middle School and a member of the DeBusk Family Club.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And ladies, leading us in the Boys and Girls Club Code is Malaysia Roper, an 8th grader at Powell Middle School and a member of the DeBusk Family Club.
I believe in God. I believe in God and the right to worship according to my own faith and religion. I believe in America, in the American way of life, in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I believe in fair play, honesty, and sportsmanship. I believe in my Boys and Girls Club, which stands for these things.
And I believe in Malaysia. Nice going. You may be seated. Enjoy your dinner. We'll start the program in about 30 minutes. Good evening again, everybody. And again, we welcome you to the 2021 Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame dinner. The big winner tonight are the kids in our community. Kids of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley. The funds generated tonight will help many of the programs to benefit the young people throughout East Tennessee. For more on the mission to serve our young people, please welcome the President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of the Tennessee Valley, Bart Mcfadden.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank you all for coming tonight to help us recognize and honor some of our region's great athletes and coaches. As Bob said, I'm the president and CEO for Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley. And our organization, our mission is to inspire and enable all young people to reach their full potential as responsible, productive, and caring citizens. And I think every individual that's going to be inducted tonight and going to be honored would tell you that somewhere along the way they had coaches, mentors, and adults pouring into their lives that helped them reach their full potential on and off the athletic fields and courts. And in our clubs, that's exactly what we do for kids. I think we all recognize that today's world, especially with what children and our society has faced over the last 18 months, we all recognize the need that kids have and how it's grown exponentially during this time of COVID. But in our clubs, and I'm proud to say, and we've got staff here, and I just want to publicly thank them, our clubs never closed our doors. We stayed open every single day during COVID to make sure that the needs of kids were met. It was never a decision we entered into lightly or recklessly, but we knew what kids needed, and we knew that kids needed academic support. We knew that they needed support with mental and social and emotional health. And we knew that kids simply needed the opportunity to be kids and have some stability. And that's what our staff and our clubs have provided for the last 18 months. It's what our clubs have provided for the last 78 years in this organization. So I'm very proud to be part of it and want to thank you all for supporting us. If you would like tonight on your tables, there's some placards that's got a QR code. If you're interested in supporting Boys and Girls Club, you can click on that QR code and it will give you an opportunity to support our organization. In our organization, we also have a way to honor kids, and it is our annual Youth of the Year program. And this year's Youth of the Year is a young man by the name of Kaden Robinson. And Kaden is a senior now. I was going to say rising senior, but school started, thankfully. Caden's a senior at Fulton High School, and Kaden is here tonight to share a little bit of his story and how Boys and Girls Club is helping him achieve his full potential. Kaden?
Good afternoon. As he said, I'm Kaden Robinson. Before I begin, I want to thank the Hall of Fame for allowing me to come here and share my story. And I want to thank you all for listening. As a seventh grader, I was a completely different person. I was angry, I was insecure, I was jealous of all my confident and self-assured peers around me. You see, I yearned to make friends the way they did and draw in crowds the way they did and lead the way they did. My peers socialized effortlessly, something I could only dream of doing. But all these emotions would soon change after an encounter I had with the staff at the Boys and Girls Club, Miss Missy. So there I am, sitting alone, drawing, shutting out the world, and Miss Missy comes up to me and she says, "Hi, I'm Miss Missy. What are you drawing?" I tell her nothing, just to keep the conversation short, because in my mind, I'm like, who was this random lady? But she then asks, "Well, what's your name?" And I tell her, "Kaden." And despite my obvious tone of annoyance, she went on to ask me more questions, such as, "What school do you go to? How old are you? Do you like to draw? Why are you sitting here alone?" And at this point, I'm letting everything go in one ear and out the other. And then she hit me with the question, "Do you want to go play with the other kids?" Now, I'd never been invited to play anything before, so naturally I caved. We went to the gym, and it was Foursquare. I always hated Foursquare. I always thought it was too competitive, but she insisted I step up to the plate, and as I step up, this kid throws a ball as hard as he can, and I freak out, I panic. I miss, of course, and of course everyone laughs, and I'm so embarrassed, I run back to the comfort of my drawing space, ready to shut the world out again. And then she came back, and I just remember being so mad at her. I blamed her for everything that had happened. It was her fault that all those kids had laughed at me, and it was her fault that I got it from the desk in the first place. But instead of arguing, she took me to an art class where I can honestly say I had the most fun. I mean, there were so many kids who were like me and so many supplies I hadn't even thought of using. But looking back, it probably would have been easier for her to leave me be. I mean, if anything, I was being unfair, but she didn't. Instead, she found a different way for me to grow. And that always resonated with me because no one had ever gone out of their way to make me feel so welcome. I owe so much to Miss Missy, and I owe so much to the Boys and Girls Club. Miss Missy has been a mentor throughout the years. She's taught me to not only advocate for myself, but for others. The Boys and Girls Club has provided stepping stones to help me reach my full potential, which brings me to now. I'm currently a senior at Fulton High School, and I can't tell you where I'm. Thank you. Thank you. And I can't tell you where I'm going to be in the next year, but I can tell you where I want to be, and that is at Morehouse College, hopefully a part of. A part of the graduating class of 2026 with a degree in psychology, so I can come back home to Knoxville and make a positive change within my community. Thank you. Again, thank you all so much for allowing me to share my story. It's been an honor, and now would you please give a warm welcome for Mr. Dave Miller from First Horizon.
Thanks, Kaden. Hey, Bart, thanks for having me follow Kaden. Jeez. Impressive young man. Good evening, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. So great to see so many folks here this evening. On behalf of First Horizon, congratulations to all the honorees and inductees this evening. And thanks so much to the many sponsors here this evening. In addition to ourselves, we appreciate your support of Boys and Girls Club and particularly the Sports Hall of Fame. Obviously, the last 18 months, it would be an understatement to say that in many ways, the last 18 months has sought to separate us and divide us, not just from a social distancing perspective, but politically and in many, many other ways. And I tell you what, if there's one thing that tonight proves is how sports is something that really brings us together, not only as fans, but as a community. And so it's so great to see so many people here with something that unites us. And for that reason, First Horizon has been proud to sponsor this event for a number of years. And we're also particularly proud, of course, to be the official bank of the Vols, which we have been going back about 30 years. And we also take pride in serving this community in a number of other ways. I'm joined tonight and blessed to be with two tables of my colleagues, and I can't tell you, because I know there's also a number of bankers in the room as well, cannot tell you how proud I am of what First Horizon bankers, but all bankers did over the course of the pandemic. And whether that was figuring out how to keep their bank branches open so that we could have access to our money, or serving the community with small business loans. I think at First Horizon we did about 5,000 PPP loans that helped pay 64,000 people across the region. I can't tell you how proud I am of the First Horizon, but all bankers and financial services folks in the room and what they did during the pandemic. We were also fortunate to be able to give back to the community through our foundation last year. We supported 79 different organizations with close to $1 million. An additional $350,000 from our foundation went to help some of the biggest pain points at the start of the pandemic, and so that was a blessing to be able to do it. But I tell you what, a lot of organizations stepped up during the pandemic to respond in, quite frankly, a heroic way. Of course, not the least of which is the medical community, and they're still doing it. But I give Bart and the Boys and Girls Club a lot of credit. Many of us can relate to the fact, even well before the pandemic, one of the issues this community really struggled with, and all communities do, is childcare. Back in 2019, there was a study done that showed 70% of working families in Knoxville with kids under the age of 5 struggle to find high-quality, affordable childcare. And my guess is many folks in this audience can relate to that. And imagine how much worse that got during the pandemic with the closing of schools and a bunch of other stresses on working parents. Bart and his team at the clubs adapted club operations to ensure that medical workers and other essential personnel had access to high-quality child care so that those folks in turn could serve us and make sure we could do what we needed to do and take care of our families. So one of so many reasons we are proud to support Bart and his work and his team's work on behalf of our kids at the Boys and Girls Club. These are folks that show up day in and day out, not only in bad times like the pandemic, but also in good times, and we're proud to support them. And I'm so appreciative that you're here tonight to show them that same support. Enjoy the evening. Thanks again for having us, and go Vols. Thank you, Dave, and thank First Horizon for their great support of this event. Buck Vaughn came up with the idea for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame 40 years ago. Give Buck a round of applause. We miss him. He wanted to recognize players and coaches and people who have had an impact in sports in this community. And the best thing about it, the secondary part of that, is he wanted to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club. Jim Haslam of Pilot and George Sampson of Cherokee Distributing jumped on board right away as sponsors, and they've sponsored this event now for 40 straight years. Let's give them a round of applause as well. We are still counting some money coming in, but at last report, the Tote Board, tonight we are going to generate over $213,000 for the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you. This is the 40th year. The first class in the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame was star-studded. It had General Robert Nealon, Doug Atkins, Bob Suffrage, Bob Fox, Nathan Doherty, Roe Campbell, Earl Keister, Dusty Lennon, Bill Meyer, Bowden Wyatt, Ed Bailey, Ralph Boston, Julian Bell, Jackie Parker, Buster Ramsey, Lum Reeder, Doris Sams, Reba Kennedy, and Buddy Hollingsworth. Now, if you turn your attention to the video boards now, we're going to reflect back on 40 years of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Knoxville Convention Center for the 25th annual, 27th annual, 31st annual, 37th annual Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame dinner and induction ceremony. We are told this is going to be the largest function in the history of this new Knoxville Convention Center. This evening we have over 1,200 people here in the ballroom raising money for the Knoxville Boys and Girls Clubs. The Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame was the dream of Buck Vaughn. He organized it, founded it 36 years ago. Buck worked constantly looking to improve and build on this Hall of Fame and this dinner. Nobody has done more volunteer work for the Boys and Girls Club in this area than Buck Vaughn. 3 decades ago, he helped form the D.D. Lewis Golf Tournament. Several years ago, that tournament became the Philip Fulmer Golf Classic. We are so proud and thankful for Buck Vaughn. Tonight, we gathered to honor and celebrate individuals for their accomplishments in sports, but the real winners tonight are the young people here in East Tennessee who benefit from the funds generated by this event. Proceeds tonight will go to fund the programs and support the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley. You know, looking around the room, it's hard to imagine how far this event has come. 25 years ago was the first event. It was held at the Hyatt Regency. 250 people showed up. Most of those were freebies, probably. 21 people were inducted in that first class. It's in your program, but some of the names in that first class: Doug Atkins, Ed Bailey, Ralph Boston, George Caffago, Bob Fox, Bill Meyer, Bob Suffrage, Bowden Wyatt, and General Robert Nealon. That was a great class, and tonight's a great class as well. Every year we have a great speaker, and that's the case again tonight. This year's Hall of Fame is honored to have with us tonight one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of Ole Miss, the SEC, and the NFL, Archie Manning. To speak on behalf of the class of 2008, I bring you Tim Priest.
It is now my pleasure to welcome Chad Pennington.
21 years of Pro Bowl, 15 years in the major leagues, the 2012 Cy Young Award winner in the National League for the New York Mets, the 2012 All-Star with the Toronto Blue Jays, a 2013 Gold Glove Award winner. He is a true Renaissance man. So let's welcome to the stage R.A. Dickey.
I don't have any videos to show you. I just brought the real thing. He's a dear friend of mine, and I'm so glad that you people asked me to come introduce him. Johnny Bench.
The greatest player and the most prolific player to ever put on a Tennessee basketball uniform. Please welcome Bernard King.
It's with tremendous honor that the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame presents the first ever Pat Summitt Ignite Greatness Award to our coach and our friend, Coach Pat Summitt.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Knoxville, and just the state of Tennessee for being great fans of the University of Tennessee and for following the Lady Vols. You are the greatest fans. You're also our friends. Thank you.
In closing, again, thank you very much. One of the great honors for me to come back home. I know I speak on behalf of all the inductees. Again, thank to everybody who had anything to do with us going in the Hall of Fame. Good luck to everybody. Good night. God bless you. Thank you.
I ask you to welcome back to Knoxville my friend, our living legend, and old number 16, Peyton Manning.
It's great to be here in Knoxville. I want to congratulate all of tonight's inductees into the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame.
Please recognize the class of 2007, the class of 2008, class of 2010 for the Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Let's hear it for tonight's inductees. We also like to thank our founding sponsor, who is Pilot Oil Corporation, Jim Haslam, for all he does for not only this event tonight, but for the Boys and Girls Club year-round. So thank Jim Haslam and Pilot Oil. Also, Cherokee Distributing Company, one of the founding sponsors, George Burton Sampson. They've been with us from day one. George, thank you for all you do for the Boys and Girls Club as well.
We are so proud that this year we've been able to bring on a new presenting sponsor for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, First Tennessee Bank.
That concludes our program tonight. Again, congratulate all our inductees and honorees tonight. We thank you all so much for coming, for all you do for the Boys and Girls Club. It's been a very, very special night. We hope to see you back next year. And again, congratulations to the class of 2009. Let's hear it for the class of 2008 one more time. Thanks so much to you tonight for being here and supporting the Boys and Girls Club in this Hall of Fame dinner. Thanks to Coach Fulmer. Thanks to Peyton Manning. We thank Coach Vince Dooley for being with us tonight. Most of all, we thank you for your great support of the Boys and Girls Club in this dinner. We'll see you next year. We'll see you next year. We'll see you next year for number 27. Thanks very much. Have a very good night. Thank you. One thing I take from that video, I have not aged very well, have I? So, every year, Hall of Fame members come back, and a lot of them are here tonight. Let's have the house lights up for just a moment. If you're a member of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, please stand so we can recognize you. Thank you. To begin tonight's award presentations, we start with the High School Athletes of the Year from 2020 to 2021. George Dinwiddie, who's the chairman of the board of the directors of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, will present the awards. And to make the introductions, please welcome a member of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame and a 1984 Olympian, Missy Kane. Hi, Miss. You look great.
And how about Bob Kessling, all he's done over the years for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. And this is an honor to be up here and recognize these outstanding high school athletes. And ladies, I don't know about you, but I'm so excited. I walked up here and didn't fall down with high heels. I haven't worn them in 2 years, you know? So I'm really excited about that. And I got a sparkly mask to go with my outfit. We have 3 female and 3 males to recognize, as well as the special Will McCamey Spirit Award. And George Dinwiddie is going to be giving out the plaques. Denae Fritz, basketball player at Maryville High School, starts us out. While at Maryville, Fritz recorded more than 2,000 career points, 1,000 rebounds, and had more than 400 career assists. She's a 2-time District 4 AAA MVP and was a top player in the state in AAA category. During her senior year, Fritz averaged 20.5 points, 10.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and 2 blocks during the regular season, and helped lead Maryville to back-to-back state tournament appearances. Coach Scott West said, "She was just a force that made everybody else better." Denae was born in Ames, Iowa, before the family moved to Tennessee, and will be playing at Iowa State University this year. Congratulations, Denae Fritz. Accepting for Denae her parents, Carrie Stevens and Dion Fritz. Next, Cassie Kirchen, a volleyball standout from Knoxville Catholic High School. Cassie is a 2-time 5-star prep volleyball player of the year and helped Catholic reach multiple state championships appearances. She was the lone senior on this year's team who finished 3rd in the state tournament. Kirchen was named Prep Extra Volleyball Player for the Year in 2019 and in 2020. She also won the prestigious Wendy's High School Scholarship for the state of Tennessee. Cassie was a standout player for the K2 Volleyball Club and will be playing for Penn State starting this fall. Congratulations to Cassie. Next, we have Caitlyn Reilly, softball pitcher from Jefferson County High School. In her career at Jefferson County, this pitcher was a 2-time District 2 AAA Player of the Year and named to the All-State AAA team. She also claimed the coveted title of AAA East Tennessee Miss Softball. In this, her senior year, Caitlyn had an ERA of .481 with 235 strikeouts. Athletics runs deep in her family, with her father, Spencer Reilly, was a starting center of the Vols' '98 championship team. Caitlyn has signed on with Ole Miss to continue her softball career. Accepting her award tonight will be her dad, Spencer Reilly, who I think was offensive lineman for Peyton Manning. Is that correct? Congratulations. Peyton knows you, I bet. Now for our male outstanding athletes. Caleb Fortner, outside linebacker from Central High School. Caleb is a three-time All-State selection and Mr. Football finalist in 2020. His sophomore year, he was selected the Class 5A Blue Cross Bowl MVP and the five-star prep defensive underclassman of the year. That same year, Central won its school's first state championship, a feat the team repeated in 2019, where he was named five-star prep defensive player of the year. He finished his senior year with 62 solo stops, 23 assists, 17 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 1 blocked punt. Offensively, he had 10 receptions for 134 yards. Fortner is signed to play football for Army this fall, and an added bonus, he'll be joined by his brother on the team, Liam. Congratulations, Caleb Fortner. Next up, Lance Simpson, golfer from Farragut High School. Lance is ranked among the top 25 high school players in the nation, ranking 21st. He has claimed the Class AAA individual state titles both in 2018 and 2020, while also helping lead the Farragut Admirals to a team title. Simpson's 13 under par performance during the 2 rounds at this year's state championship was the second best tournament performance in state history. He also won the 2020 Tennessee Junior PGA Championship by 8 strokes. Simpson has signed on to play for Tennessee. Congrats, Lance Simpson. Go Vols. Next honoree is Christian Langlewis, a track and field sprinter from Bearden High School. Christian capped off his senior year by taking gold and setting records in the state championship in the 100 meters, running 10.4, and also winning the 200 meters in 21:09. He has had a remarkable improvement from being third in the city meet during his sophomore year, then not getting to run in the state meet due to the pandemic last year. But he focused on training hard, and it paid off big time, winning that impressive sprint double at this year's state meet. By the way, he broke a 46-year-old Bearden High School record that was set 46 years ago by Mike Barlow, who's a member of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Mike was a former All-American for the Vols. And matter of fact, Christian will be going to Tennessee this fall running for the Vols, so congratulations. His father, Nathan Langlewis, is accepting his honor. It's now time to give out the Will McCamey Spirit Award. This award is given out to honor a special Knoxville athlete, Will McCamey. Will was an outstanding football player at Grace Christian, playing for his dad/coach, Randy McCamey. He signed a scholarship with the Naval Academy. In 2012, while playing in a game for Navy, he took a hit to the head that led him to the hospital. Later that spring, after he was released to play again, Will collapsed during spring practice and ended up back in the hospital. Was in a coma 3 days before he passed. This award is now given to an area high school athlete who demonstrates courage and perseverance to battle obstacles. And this year's recipient is so very worthy. Marshall Harkrider, a talented and inspiring soccer player from West High School. In 2018, he was involved in an ATV accident that crushed his right leg. It was so severe that doctors told him if he ever wanted to play sports, he would have to consider amputation. Marshall was determined and decided to go that route. He went through hard rehab and retraining to allow him to now play soccer with a prosthetic. He returned to the West soccer team and his club team in 2020. And after learning to play the game with a prosthetic, he found himself back in the starting lineup, and he scored his first goal in a 3-1 victory over Gallatin. Just amazing. Marshall plans to keep playing soccer on the University of North Carolina's intramural team this fall, while I know he'll continue to inspire others with his courage and fortitude. Congratulations, Marshall Harkrider, for winning the McCamey Spirit Award 2021. Your 2021 Outstanding Class of High School Athletes. Thank you.
Thank you, Missy. We mentioned earlier this is Buck Vaughn's idea to start the Hall of Fame, and so now each year we honor a person who has contributed so much to sports and to be a champion athlete with the Buck Vaughn Legacy Award. To present that award and others, Please welcome the news anchor from Channel 8, Ted Hall.
A lot of people would argue that Bob Kesling was one of the three best Bowl brothers of all time. I'm not sure if you are going to make that list. I'm pulling for you. Bob is one of the main reasons I'm in East Tennessee. He was the guy that pulled me out of the lush garden state of Kansas to come and work here. I was his weekend sports guy starting in 1988. That was big. Loved it. Covered a lot of the people that I've seen get honored in past years, and even some that are being honored here tonight. So I really do appreciate Bob Kesling, and I owe him a lot. And it only took him 33 years to finally get me in the room. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Gosh. He doesn't take hints. We'll just say that. On behalf of my team, WVLT, we are thrilled to be a part of this. This is one of the greatest events every year in East Tennessee. Thank you for letting us be here. Thanks to all of you for coming. Let's get on with some awards here, some honors. Special recognition goes to Dan Flescher. Dan came to the Knoxville News-Sentinel in October of '88 as a beat writer for the Lady Vols. With the exception of a 2-season break, he stayed on that beat until January of 2019. Covered 6 of the Lady Vols, 8 national championships. Reported on some of the greatest players: Bridget Gordon, Deidre Charles, Shamiqua Holzclaw, Candace Parker, and you know how many other great ones there were. He wrote extensively about Coach Pat Summitt over that time. Covered the milestone victories: 500, 600, 700, 800. Boy, that seemed like a lot. 900, 1,000, and it kept going. He also covered the end of her career and her battle with Alzheimer's disease. In '08, he won the WBCA Mel Greenberg Media Award, presented annually to a member of the media who has best displayed a commitment to women's basketball and to advancing the role of the media in the women's game. In 2018, he received a top 10 award in project reporting in the 30,000 to 75,000 circulation category, competitive sizes to the Knoxville News-Sentinel. This came from the Associated Press editors recounting how 5 women worked for 5 years to urge the University of Tennessee to restore the Lady Vols name for women's sports. Congratulations to Dan Flescher. Now, the Buck Vaughn Legacy Award. Cara Lawson. She was a good one. Former WNBA and Olympic champion Cara Lawson was named Duke University's head women's basketball coach July 11th of 2020, only the 5th one they've had. Lawson's an '03 UT grad, basketball standout, brings her decorated basketball career to the Blue Devils. 2020 season, you might remember this, she was an assistant coach in the NBA with the Boston Celtics. Got the Celtics 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. She was their first female coach in franchise history. Lawson helped USA make history in the summer of 2021 as she guided the U.S. 3-on-3 or 3x3 women's basketball team, the national team, to the gold medal in the Olympic debut in Tokyo. And that sport was a lot of fun to watch. Marked her 10th overall gold medal in USA basketball, 7th as a coach. She is a member of the University of Tennessee Board of Trustees, named a Torchbearer Award winner in '03. Let's hear it for Cara Lawson. Now the Pat Summitt Ignite Greatness Award goes to Michelle Marciniak. Marciniak was an academic, yes, an academic All-American at UT while attaining a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology in '95. With her running the team as the starting point guard, Lady Vols made 3 appearances in the NCAA tournament, 2 Final Four national championship games, '95, '96. She reached the pinnacle of her collegiate success, leading her team to the '96 NCAA title, securing the NCAA MVP. No big deal. NCAA MVP, honorable mention, All-America. UT honored her extraordinary career and contributions to UT women's athletics by inducting her into the class, the 2012 class, Lady Vol Hall of Fame. Recipient of the 2021 NCAA Silver Anniversary Award in recognition of her collegiate and professional achievements. as well as her civic contributions. At the request of Time Incorporated, she was asked to provide the tribute and introduction of Pat Summitt when she was presented as the 2011 Sports Illustrated Sportswoman of the Year. Marciniak delivered the eulogy at Summitt's funeral on June 30th, 2016. It's the last time I wore this tie, actually. It's my Lady Vols tie for you guys. She was transferred her prodigious skills from the athletic arena into the business. Have you seen these on TV, these commercials? Sheiks, performance sheets, fantastic stuff. Cutting edge bedding, world's first performance fabric bedding company, globally patented technology inspired by the feel and breathability of athletic performance fabrics. She does it all. Michelle Marciniak, everybody.
Last year, we were not able to have this dinner because of the COVID. So the class of 2020 was honored on a special TV program presented by Channel 8. Well, we wanted to give them a chance tonight to be recognized here at this event and to make those introductions and present the Chad Pennington Professional Athlete of the Year Award. Please welcome from ESPN, a member of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame Board, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, good evening, everyone. You know, what a special night. You know, I'm sitting out there like you are a little while ago watching that video of 40 years for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, and I know that every year we had different Hall of Fame winners, special guests, celebrities, and incredible crowds like this, and it changed every year except for one thing, one constant. We all saw it, and I think it's about time that we recognize the man who gave his heart, his soul, his spirit, and his voice to this event for 40 years. Please stand and be recognized. Bob Kesling. And Bob, I'm told I can tell you that this is the 40th, you're halfway there. 40 more to go and you'll be done. Okay. It's time now for the Chad Pennington Professional Athlete of the Year Award. Tonight's recipient is a native of Newcastle, Indiana, but currently resides in Dandridge, Tennessee. He is a graduate of the University of Missouri with a degree in communications. He played golf collegiately at Missouri from 2007 to 2010, where he had low scores on the course but high scores in the classroom, and thus earned the distinction of being named an academic All-American. His current year highlights include holding a share of the lead in the first round of the Sony Open in Hawaii. At the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open, he held a share of the 36-hole lead and finished in a tie for fifth, recording back-to-back top fives for the very first time in his career. At the Sanderson Farms Championship, he shot a final round 63 to finish second. This marked his first ever sub-64 score on the PGA Tour. And on a personal note, he is a huge Kansas City Royals fan and thus wears a Royals blue golf shirt during his final rounds. And because of his love for baseball, he is currently a brand ambassador for MLB.com. So, brand ambassador, successful PGA Tour golfer, and tonight we add another accolade to that list of distinctions. Please join me in congratulating our 2021 Chad Pennington Professional Athlete of the Year, Peter Maldotti. As Bob mentioned, last year the global pandemic prevented us from holding a live gathering here at the Convention Center, but however, the class of 2020 for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame was acknowledged and inducted in a virtual ceremony. Tonight, we'd like to bring up those that are here from that 2020 class for an in-person congratulations and presentation of their Hall of Fame plaques. Now, for time purposes, or like Lindsey Nelson used to say, due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. Due to time constraints, we're not going to read their entire bio, but I will give you a couple of brief bullet points. So let's get started. He is a high school coaching legend, leading his Fulton Falcons to a combined 9 regional or state championships. He was also named Region Coach of the Year a record 6 times. Please welcome Rob Black. After an outstanding career as a collegiate pitcher and coach, he spent 44 years in professional baseball, earning the reputation as one of the best pitching coaches in all the major leagues. Here is Mark Connor. This Knoxville native's broadcast career began while still a student at the University of Tennessee. This 2019 recipient of the Lindsey Nelson Award just completed his 25th season as the voice of the Demon Deacons on the Wake Forest Sports Network. Please welcome Stan Cotton. Now, I'm going to mention them all, even though some of them can't be here tonight, so we deserve that recognition. This 2-time All-State basketball selection led her Bradley Central High School team to a state championship prior to becoming a Lady Vol here at Tennessee. Off the court, she has served on numerous community boards and organizations throughout the Knoxville area. Please welcome Gloria Dethridge. As a member of the Johnny Major's first ever recruiting class in 1977, he was named a freshman All-American defensive back in his first year as a Vol. After playing, he was continued to excel over a 34-year career as a high school assistant and head football coach. He is currently head coach, athletic director, and assistant principal at South Doyle High School. Please welcome Clark Duncan. He was selected Class A Mr. Basketball in the state of Tennessee and later named a McDonald's All-American. He was twice named All-SEC during his tenure as a 4-year starter for the Vols. He would be the 38th pick in the 1996 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics. Now, 24 years after graduation, he is back on campus as Athletic Discovery Coordinator for the University of Tennessee. Please welcome Steve Hamer. After a record-setting career at the University of Tennessee, which included helping the Vols to 3 straight NCAA regional appearances and a 3rd-place finish at the College World Series, he went on to spend 17 years with the Colorado Rockies organization. During that time, he was a 5-time All-Star, a 4-time Louisville Slugger Award winner, and a 3-time Gold Glove Award winner. In 2014, he became the first player in Rockies history to have his jersey retired. Without question, he is a future Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. But tonight, he is our Hall of Famer from a year ago. Please welcome Todd Helton. During his 39 seasons as head coach at Maryville College, his teams made 20 trips to the NCAA Division III National Tournament. He was just the 8th coach in Division III history to win more than 700 games. If coaching were not enough, he also served 23 years as the school's athletic director. Please welcome Randy Lambert. He was one of the most successful coaches in the history of women's basketball. During his 40 years as a head coach, his teams compiled 944 victories. His 862 wins over 36 seasons at the University of Georgia made him just the 8th NCAA Division I coach to exceed 850 victories at a single school, joining legendary names like Dean Smith, Adolph Rupp, Mike Krzyzewski, and of course our own great one, Pat Summitt. Please welcome Andy Landers. Originally from Ontario, Canada, at age 17, he was the youngest player to be drafted by the New York Islanders. In his professional hockey career, he went on to win the Memorial Cup representing all of Canada and the Calder Cup in the American Hockey League. As the current president and general manager of the Knoxville Ice Bears, he has brought 4 Southern Professional Hockey League President's Cup trophies home to Knoxville. Please welcome Mike Murray. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice round of applause for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame class of 2020.
Thank you, Doc. Unfortunately, this past year, we also lost members of the Hall of Fame. We'd like to take a moment to remember those folks. John Lenore, longtime member of the Hall of Fame board, past chairman in 2017 and 18, a world champion handball player. John's enthusiasm for sports, his family, and this event rubbed off on everyone around him. George Sampson, member of the Hall of Fame board, his support of the Boys and Girls Club throughout Cherokee Distributing has been unwavering down through the years. Ron Whidbey, perhaps the greatest all-around athlete to ever play at Tennessee. Product of Fulton High School, he excelled at Tennessee in 4 sports, an All-American in football and basketball. He was also a pro punter with the Dallas Cowboys. Johnny Majors, All-American tailback at Tennessee on the 1956 undefeated team, coached Pittsburgh to a national championship, and then spent 16 years as the head coach at Tennessee and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Arthur Bud Fields. Bud started the UT Men's Club volleyball team back in 1967. Later named the head coach of the Lady Vols, he was nicknamed Joe Volleyball, instrumental in building the sport at UT and in our community. Herky Payne, tailback on Tennessee's 1951 national championship team. He led the SEC in scoring that year. He also played second base on Tennessee's baseball team that in 1951 advanced to the College World Series. He later coached football and baseball at Farragut High School. Mike DePalmer Sr. He played football and basketball at Florida State. In his 20s, though, he turned to tennis and then became one of the top coaches in the nation. He coached Tennessee for 14 seasons, and he's in the College Tennis Hall of Fame. Mike DePalmer Jr., ranked number 5 in the world in the under 18 tennis rankings back in 1980. 2-time All-American at Tennessee. He one time won 27 consecutive singles matches. Like his father, later became a world-class coach. Becky Hartman, outstanding basketball and softball player growing up. She was involved in golf later in her life, serving as the president of the Knoxville and Knoxville Area Golf Association. Was instrumental in the start of the Lady Vol Golf program. Rocky Good, outstanding tailback at Bearden High School, the 1972 High School Player of the Year in the state of Tennessee. Went on to play tailback at Tennessee, but is best known as being an official in the SEC for 25 years. Stanley Underwood, he built the Knoxville Track Association into one of the strongest in the nation. Worked numerous NCAA championships and Olympic trials. He trained officials from all over the country, as well as he worked the Tennessee relays on Tom Black track. Please bow your head for a moment of silence to remember these great Hall of Famers. Thank you. It has been a difficult time for our country over the last year or so. We are fortunate to have brave men and women who serve as first responders, doctors, nurses, and also in our military to help keep us all safe. If we could have the house lights up for a moment. If you are a veteran or currently in the military or a first responder, please stand so we can give you grateful thanks. Thank you. This night would not be possible without our great sponsors, the presenting sponsor, First Horizon and Dave Miller, our founding sponsors, Pilot Corporation and Jim Haslam, Cherokee Distributing with Lauren Bowman and also Jeff Knight. Platinum sponsor, Humana and Doug Holland. Our speaker sponsor, Only Jesus and Dean Weingartner. Our class of 2021 sponsor, First Bank with Nathan Hunter. Our hospitality sponsor, Phillips and Jordan, Teddy and Christy Phillips. And our media sponsors, Channel 8 and The Sports Animal. There are additional sponsors listed in your program, but let's give them all a round of applause. We couldn't do it without them. Thank you so much. Each year, we've been blessed to have an outstanding speaker. Hard to believe we could get one much better than we have tonight. And to introduce tonight's speaker, please welcome College Football Hall of Fame coach, Philip Fulmer.
Well, I too want to thank everyone for being here this evening and supporting our Boys and Girls Club. And it's great just to get back together again, isn't it? To be able to be in one place and celebrate with each other. Another great Vol that we just lost in the last few days is Gary Wyant. Gary was a great administrator and coach at the University of Tennessee, and we love him and miss him already. This is very much a special evening as we welcome all the new Hall of Famers and honorees here tonight. It's also special to me because we have here with us tonight two of the men that were key individuals that helped produce the greatest era in modern Tennessee football. I'm going to take just a moment, a selfish moment if I can, and talk about not Coach Manning yet, but Coach Cutcliffe. David is like a brother to me, and David gave his all every day for Tennessee football to be successful, and it's great to see him to be honored and into the Hall of Fame tonight. From the moment we met as young 20-something men and to today, we've remained great friends, and we worked side by side and started families, laughed, cried, argued, and celebrated together. He was a great football coach and is a great football coach. Best darn quarterback and coach in America. And that's proven by his track record. And he's a great man, father, and husband. And I'm just really glad to see him being honored here tonight. On to Mr. Manning. On the surface, my job is easy this evening. Easy because everyone knows who Peyton Manning is. It's, yes, he's the greatest quarterback ever to play at the University of Tennessee. Yes, he's one of the greatest ever to play the game at the college or professional level. Two-time Super Bowl champion and very much a point with two different teams, leading those teams to championships in two entirely different ways, which means even more to me, it magnifies as the greatest player and greatest leader of men. The hard part is Peyton owns so many college and NFL records, it's impossible to start mentioning them tonight and use up his time. Let's just say Peyton Manning is a passionate, graceful, tough leader and a great teammate all rolled into one. Peyton's efforts and successes in football have led to many, many victories, honors, and awards, and a couple of ultimate football honors. Perhaps the greatest, the first ballot member of the NFL Hall of Fame, just celebrated a couple weeks ago in Canton. He's also a first ballot to the 2017 College Football Hall of Fame. Not many players or coaches in any sport can say those things. All of Peyton's coaches would tell you, Peyton is a great leader. He led both vocally and by example, on the field, in the locker room, and in the community. Peyton changed the game with his ability to operate at the line of scrimmage. Peyton made the city of Omaha relevant. Peyton is a gifted athlete. Peyton's a really smart, instinctive person. Peyton's work ethic is legendary. He led by attitude, expectations, and passion. He influenced everyone around him. That's front offices, administrators, coaches, and players all to be their best. Peyton took his love and passion for football and his tremendous sense of humor and timing to use that humor as he managed to have the #1 reality show on TV titled Peyton's Places. If you've not seen it, please go back and watch it. Peyton can use the residuals. Peyton has been very generous to the University of Tennessee, the city of Knoxville, the state of Tennessee, and many charities, especially those who help young people. There are countless stories, plays, and moments that we all remember about Peyton Manning and his beautiful family. But tonight, we get to hear from him firsthand. Please welcome Peyton Manning.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Good to be home, isn't it?
Sure is, Bob. Great to be here. Congratulations to all the inductees, all the award winners tonight. What a great event tonight, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club and honoring the history of Knoxville sports. So really honored to be here.
I think everybody in this room watched your Hall of Fame speech, and were just dazzled by it, inspired by it. I know that your dad introduced you at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I can't imagine what a thrill that was, what a moment that was for you.
Well, it was a great thrill, and to be able to share it with my dad, who's probably had the greatest impact on my football life, was very special. It's just been a time, Bob, to reflect on all the people that have been a part of this football journey, coaches like Coach Cutcliffe and Coach Fulmer, family, friends, teammates, but to have my dad up there on stage with me was certainly very special.
Did he force you into football? Did he encourage you?
My dad did not force me to play. He encouraged us to play sports, me and my brothers, because of the valuable lessons that he thought sports teaches, taking coaching, overcoming adversity, working with different types of teammates. But he never pushed us. It was an encouragement, and kind of his rule, Bob, was if we wanted his help, we had to go to him and ask him. And he was glad to help, but his sons had to initiate the conversation, and it was a real healthy approach. My dad was always at our games, sitting in the stands, told us after the game he was proud of us, and so that meant a lot. So I've tried to kind of follow that same lead in this second chapter for me. Really good documentary on my dad several years ago, kind of telling his story. He lost his father when he was in college, had a big impact on his parenting philosophy. Good documentary. I personally think it showed a few too many crying videos of me as a 3-year-old. I think my dad's a great dad, but at what point do you stop filming your 3-year-old son getting kicked in the head by his older brother and maybe go out there and help the kid, Oh, no, it might be a documentary one day. Got to keep filming this. But
and he kept sending it over to any place that wanted to air it, too.
Exactly, yeah. He did not clear that with me either. So, but he's been a great dad and a great mentor.
All right, I got a question about the Hall of Fame. The gold jackets that you get, do they give those to you? You got to buy them.
I think you rent them for a while. Yeah, you have a lease with an option to buy.
But you can wear them now to Walgreens or go to Walmart and just wear your jacket around when you need to?
Yeah, I don't go to Walgreens a whole lot these days, Bob. I don't see myself wearing it all too often.
Okay, but what a thrill to put that jacket on, though.
It was a great thrill and an honor. The nice thing about the Pro Football Hall of Fame is that you go in and you take a lot of people and places with you. So I don't just go in as a Colt or a Bronco. I go in as a Tennessee Volunteer, a New Orleans native, and that was special to me.
You, whether you like it or not, are a role model for people. You're visible. Everybody sees you. You're in the spotlight all the time. How do you handle that, and how important is it for you to be a role model?
Well, I've had great role models to follow, and I think that's had a big impact. I mentioned my dad. Coaches have been my mentors and my role models, and luckily I got to get coached for a long time. Coach Fulmer, my head coach here in college, was as loyal a coach as you could have. He always had your back, and it's nice to play for someone or work for someone who has your back, especially when times get tough. Coach Cutcliffe continued to be my coach throughout my NFL career, kind of like a golfer going back to his old swing coach. I used to go back to see Coach Cutcliffe even when I was in my 10th and 15th and 18th years in the NFL, and he would coach me like I was an 18-year-old freshman again. And it was exactly what I needed at that point, working on the most basic fundamentals of playing quarterback. How do you take a snap? How do you call the play in the huddle with some presence? And you might ask, well, why would an 18-year veteran need to go learn how to take a snap again? As he always said, the little things matter. And it was just a big help to me throughout my career. He used to yell at us. I'd get so mad, but then I was staying at his house that night, and he was going to buy us dinner, so we'd get over it. Tony Dungy was a tremendous influence on me, a great leader, every bit as good a human being as he was a coach. And then my high school coach, Bob, was a real character. Coach Cutcliffe and Coach Fulmer, remember him. Kind of famous for these funny expressions, malaprops, if you will. He used to tell us for the team picture to line up alphabetically by height. It's kind of hard to do if you think about it. There's some smart kids at our school that were trying to figure it out. He would tell all his right-handed quarterbacks, Bob, hey, Peyton, when you're sprinting to the left, it'd be a heck of a lot easier if you could throw the ball left-handed if you were amphibious. I think he meant ambidextrous. I never asked him. And then the last one I'll share with you, I always think about this when I'm around Coach Cutcliffe or Coach Fulmer, is when you get recruited now. It may be different now. Back when I was recruited, you filled out these questionnaires. They always had a little section about you, your family, always a section about your high school. I was sitting in my high school coach's office. I said, Coach, it's got some questions about you. He said, what's it say? I said, it's asking for my high school coach's name, and my high school coach's alma mater. I said, Coach, I never even asked you before. What is your alma mater? He said, always do your best. So
That's great. That's great. Pete, we see the highlights of you winning the Super Bowls and winning all these games. But take us back to 2011. Your career almost ended because of neck surgery. You had to basically rebuild how you threw, how you ran. David Cutcliffe was right there with you every step of the way. But how trying was that, and the determination you had to get back?
Well, it was a great professional test for me, and not even close to some of the adversity that some of these people on this dais have faced. But I had a football injury. I had a neck problem that I finally kind of got my neck fixed, but of all things, it caused nerve damage in my right arm and right hand. And if only I was amphibious, Bob, I could have thrown it left-handed. But, you know, I think when you go through adversity, anybody can say this, that it's a test. It's a test of your faith, test to see if you can kind of persevere. And I think what I learned about myself is that I could be flexible and adaptive. I couldn't throw the ball quite the same way, but as, you know, Coach Cutt and I kind of worked on, I could still use my experience, use my, lower body, which was still functioning, and still remain an effective quarterback, but in a different style, not throwing these 70-yard throws down the field, but being really accurate on these intermediate throws. And so in a weird way, I'm almost kind of glad that I went through it, because I learned that I could, pass that test, and, ended up playing another 4 years, and to be a part of another championship team with another organization was a real thrill.
But you showed there's a drive to be great. A lot of guys are satisfied being good. You wanted to be great, and you had to push yourself. I mean, a lot of guys wouldn't have gone through what you went through.
Well, look, I think, certain things in any field, I think have to stand out. You got to have ability. You got to combine that with a strong work ethic. I think you got to have a real passion for what you do. Everybody on this stage has a real passion for their job. I guess the fourth thing I think maybe that can separate certain people in their field is just a real feeling of accountability. There are a lot of people counting on you to do your job. That's what always drove me. My teammates, my coaches, the fans, they're all counting on you, and you want to do your part. So I think those four things can kind of separate certain people from the rest of the pack.
Where does work ethic fit in all of that?
Absolutely. You hear about a lot of people, they're super talented, but just don't love it. Don't work as hard as they should, and I think you got to have that for sure.
And that's in everything, right? Everything you do.
No doubt about it. Preparation, all the things I learned in football from these coaches, I think you can apply to more than just football.
Now, everybody's been saying, well, Peyton Manning one day will be a coach. You have started your coaching career coaching flag football. Now, what happens when you start running up and down the sideline yelling Omaha and doing all that crazy stuff you do?
Yeah, people ask me what Omaha means. You know,
Do the kids know what Omaha means?
Yeah, they do. I've told them. Now that I'm not playing anymore, you can tell people. You know, the reason you can even hear what's being said now on a field is because the NFL, they turn those microphones up louder to bring the viewer at home closer to the game. And you can hear the hits and the action, but the defenses that we're getting ready to play can also hear what we're saying, and they can kind of know the plays. And so I used to go to the announcers, and I'd say, guys, can you turn those microphones down? And they said, no, we love hearing the hits. And my one regret of all the years of playing in the NFL, I was talking to Jim Nantz, the great announcer. It was the one time to get up there under center and go, blue 20, Jim Nantz is a no good, you know what, son of a mother. You know, I think they would have turned those microphones down. I just never had the guts to do it. So anyway, that's kind of what you can hear. Omaha was just kind of an indicator word. It was a trigger word that meant usually we had changed the play, we had audibled, and there was just a few seconds on the clock. So it was Omaha that told my teammates, okay, we're going to plan B. There's just a few seconds on the clock. I got to get ready to go. But as Coach Fulmer mentioned, I am a big deal in Omaha, Nebraska now. I went there 2 years ago, got the key to the city, got some steaks out of the deal.
No street yet, though, right?
Not yet.
No, that's coming. That's coming. You had such an impact and still have an impact on this community. Coming to Tennessee, everybody thought you were going to Ole Miss. Talk about why you came to Tennessee and the benefits that you have reaped from being a Tennessee Volunteer.
Well, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I didn't know anybody here in Knoxville. My grandmother, my dad's mother was born in Humboldt, Tennessee, and Bobby Scott was my dad's teammate with the New Orleans Saints. That was the only connections I had to the state of Tennessee, and but people welcomed me with open arms and just made me feel a part of the community, and certainly have since. And so Knoxville's been a very important part of my life, always will be, and I cherish my 4 years here in Knoxville, and really just proud to still be an alum and ambassador of the university.
Well, you came in today, flew in, and went straight to the football complex and gave away the Peyton Manning scholarships again. So you still give back, and talk about that award ceremony today.
Yeah, I think scholarships is one of the great gifts anybody can give, and we awarded 4 students that are going to be on scholarship here at Tennessee from all over the country, and boy, super talented, extremely smart, high energy, and we started that back my rookie year in the NFL, Bob, back in 1998, and there's been, I think, 45 scholarships. There's 4 each class. There's 16 on campus right now. Just a coincidence we picked that number, and it's been a great connection with me, with the university, not just on the football side, but throughout the student body, and it was a special presentation today.
You had a chance to talk with Coach Josh Heupel today. Did he tell you who the quarterback's going to be?
He did, actually, but I'm not going to tell you, Bob. So
just tell me, nobody else.
Yeah, I'm excited. For Josh, I can tell that he's excited for football season. Finally going to be here. We get to have fans in the stands, and he's looking forward to getting going next week against Bowling Green. I'm pulling hard for him. There's certainly going to be challenges with all the young players that we have, but he says the players are working really hard, which is all you can ask for, and looking forward to seeing them go out there and compete.
Quarterback-friendly offense. I'm sure you talked to Coach Heupel about it a bit.
I think it's going to be high energy and kind of fun to watch, right? And be aggressive and go forward on some 4th downs and throw the ball around a little bit. So I think it'll be fun to watch.
You started as soon as you got in the NFL, the Payback Foundation, which helps not only all over the country, but specifically some areas here in Knoxville, but also in your hometown, New Orleans, Indianapolis, Denver. The Payback Foundation, why was that important for you?
Yeah, it's focused on really those 4 areas, the 4 communities that have been a big part of my life: New Orleans, Knoxville, state of Tennessee, Indiana, and now Colorado. So, it's kind of appropriately named, paying back to the communities that were a big part of me and Ashley's lives. And so helping out a lot of kids who don't have life easy, much like what the Boys and Girls Club does, giving people an opportunity and maybe they wouldn't otherwise have. And it's been very rewarding, feeling like we've helped out some kids and given them some unique opportunities.
It takes a village to raise kids, and you've got 2 of them of your own. It's important that we all act as mentors and help these young people?
Yeah, I think giving back is important, and I encourage everybody. Obviously, all of you here tonight are supporting the Boys and Girls Club, but find something you're passionate about, something that you care about. Give your time, give your money, give both if you can. You can make a difference, and it also can be rewarding to you as well, not just to the recipient.
Peyton, it's always a thrill when you come back. We know you come back a lot. You give back to this community. We can't thank you enough for being here tonight, helping out the Boys and Girls Club. Talk about Peyton's places before you got a new season coming up before we let you go.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a game show host now. This second chapter for me, I've kind of taken it 1 year at a time. I've tried to find some different projects to kind of, test and see if you like it, and some you continue, some you may not. Peyton's Places has been a great documentary, if you will, entertaining documentary through the history of the NFL. I love the history of the game. My dad, just taught me to appreciate that. So for me to go and spend time with some of these great players and talk about some of the significant events that have happened throughout the 100 years of the NFL has been very special. My brother Eli is actually going to do the same show for college football this year. So, both he and I have a great appreciation. There's obviously great stories in the NFL and in college football.
Now, doing the College Bowl, has it helped Cooper's IQ at all?
Yeah. I don't know. I had to have an hour pronunciation meeting every morning. I had a coach, and I said, I don't really know what that word means, but here's how I want it spelled phonetically in my monitor. And, look, that same deal. That was a give back as well. Those kids were playing for college scholarships, and that was fun to be a part of it. That's kind of how I got signed up for it.
Well, it's a terrific show. Watch it, and it helps those kids. And Peyton, we just can't thank you enough for being here and for all you do for the University of Tennessee and for this community. Let's thank Peyton Manning.
Thank y'all. Thank you very much. Go Vols.
Thank you, Peyton. One thing that has been consistent with this Hall of Fame the past 4 decades, dedicated volunteers that serve on our board of directors. For the past 2 years, we've had outstanding leadership from our chairman, George Dinwiddie, who is right behind me. So please turn the house lights up again, just briefly. And if you're a member of the board of directors of the Greater Knoxville Hall of Fame, would you stand so we can thank you for your hard work and your dedication? Please stand. We are also pleased to have just outstanding high school athletes and coaches in this area. Many of them won state championships this past year, some national championships. The names of the teams and some of the players will be up on the video boards. We don't have time, obviously, tonight to recognize them all, but their names are there, and congratulate them and think about their great accomplishments for what they've done this past year. And now the big moment of the evening, the induction of the class of 2021 for the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. The class of 2021 is sponsored by First Bank. Carly Pearson. Carly played all sports while growing up in Maryville, went on to play soccer at Mississippi State, got a forestry degree at the University of Tennessee, took a job working as a wildlife firefighter for the National Park Service. While working a fire in 2002, she suffered a fall that left her paralyzed from the waist down. Didn't let that slow her down, though. She took up snow skiing, did triathlons, hand cycling, and water skiing. She said sports aided her in getting back her identity. Carly won the Knoxville Marathon in women's hand cycling from 2009 through 2020, the U.S. paraclimbing title twice, and the paracycling national championship 5 times, a gold medal in the national triathlon, and a silver medal in the world championship triathlon. Carly also plays sled hockey. A mother of 2, she's now a motivational speaker, program administrator for the Knoxville Sled Hockey Program, a volunteer for Catalyst Sports, and an accessibility and inclusion consultant. What an inspirational story of motivation and determination. And we welcome Carly Pearson into the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Heather Blakemore. She earned All-American honors as a track athlete at the University of Tennessee in 1996 and 97. She was a 100-meter champion at the prestigious Penn Relays in 2000. Heather's been a high school counselor and a coach for more than 16 years. As the head track coach of the girls team at Austin East Magnet School, she's coached 21 individual track champions, one of those her own daughter. In 2007, she was named the Prep Extra Coach of the Year as the Austin East girls won the state championship and the boys were the runner-ups. In 2013, Austin East girls were the state runner-up. When she's not coaching, she serves on the Minority Advisory Committee for Knox County Schools. Welcome to the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, Heather Sumter Blakemore. Mike Caldwell. Mike couldn't be with us tonight since he's coaching the Tampa Bay Bucks and they're in training camp, but he's a product of Oak Ridge High School and a member of the Oak Ridge Boys and Girls Club. Mike recently won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, a multi-sports star at Oak Ridge. He went to MTSU. He hoped to play both baseball and football at MTSU, but he said when they started throwing curveballs, he decided to stay with football. As a linebacker at MTSU, he earned All-OVC and All-America honors his senior year. In 1993, drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and he played 11 seasons in the NFL. Mike played with the Browns, the Ravens, the Cardinals, the Eagles, Bears, and Panthers. After his NFL playing career, he turned to coaching as he joined the Philadelphia Eagles staff. After a stop with the Cardinals and the Jets, he went to Tampa Bay in 2019. A member of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, tonight he joins the Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, Mike Caldwell. David Cutcliffe. A product of Birmingham, an injury cut his playing career short, so he turned to coaching. He began his career at Banks High School in 1976. He talked to Coach Majors and got a job on the Tennessee staff in 1982, doing anything and everything. And he was able to learn a lot. He coached tight ends, he coached running backs, quarterbacks, and eventually became the offensive coordinator. In 1998, he was named the head coach at Ole Miss, leading the Rebels to the 2003 SEC Western Division Championship. He returned to Tennessee in 2006 as the offensive coordinator. And then in 2008, he was named the head coach at Duke, where he has led that program to heights nobody thought possible. Coach Cutt has led the Blue Devils to 6 bowl games and 3 bowl wins, Duke's first bowl win since 1961. David led the Blue Devils to the 2013 ACC Coastal Division Championship, and he was named Coach of the Year that year, National Coach of the Year. Regarded as the best quarterback coach in the country, and you just ask Peyton and Eli Manning about that. He's also considered one of the top offensive minds in all of college football. Good to have him back in Knoxville tonight to join the Hall of Fame, Coach David Cutcliffe. How's it going, David? Mickey Dearstone. This season, Mickey begins his 23rd year as the lead announcer calling Tennessee Lady Vol basketball, but he's called Lady Vol games and been on the Vol Network for over 30 years. He attended Jefferson County High School, where he earned honorable mention All-State in basketball and was also an outstanding baseball player. He was a 2-year starter as a catcher for Columbia State in 1972 and 73, going to the Junior College World Series both years. He then moved on to Florida Southern, where in 1975 his team won the national championship. He was drafted by the Atlanta Braves after college and spent several seasons in the Braves farm system. In 1978, he was named the head baseball coach at Tusculum. After the 1979 season, he then moved into broadcasting in Greenville, working for his dad, Kenny Dearstone, an outstanding broadcaster and play-by-play announcer himself. In 1980, he moved to Knoxville to work for Dick Broadcasting and WIVK. Besides his on-the-air work, he was promotions manager and also music director. Called high school football and Lady Vol softball and hosted his own talk show there from 2005 through 2017. But he's best known by all of us for his outstanding work as the voice of the Tennessee Lady Vols, Mickey Dearstone. Nice going, Vic. Donnie Graham. Donnie has spent the past 55 years in track and field. While attending Powell High School, he won the Low Betty Award as the top freshman track and field performer in 1965. His senior year, he won the 100-yard dash at the Volunteer Track Classic. Donnie went on to run for the Tennessee track team. He was part of 4 straight SEC championship teams. In fact, Donnie's teams began an incredible run as Tennessee won 15 straight SEC titles between 1964 and 78. Donnie then moved into officiating throughout the Southeast, a Master USA track and field official. He's been the head starter at Tennessee, ETSU, and conference championship meets for over 30 years. He's also the head starter for the TSSAA track and field state championships. If there's a track race anywhere around here in high school, AAU, Junior Olympics, local youth meets, there's a good chance Donnie Graham will be the starter for that event. Please congratulate Donnie Graham for his induction into the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Nice going, Donnie. Chris Grower, a 2-sport standout at Farragut High School in tennis and golf. He was the Admirals' first state champion in tennis, winning in 1991 and 1992. Attended Vanderbilt and became the Commodores' first All-American in tennis. As a senior, he was ranked in the top 10 nationally and advanced to the round of 16 in the NCAA tournament. A 4-time academic All-SEC selection and a 2-time academic All-American. He received the Boyd McWhirter Award as the SEC's top student athlete. Chris played professionally for 3 years and cracked the ATP rankings and won the ITF Futures circuit. He played in 20 countries. He's won 14 doubles championships. In fact, he's getting ready to go to Croatia and represent the USA in the over 40 tennis championships. Chris began coaching and went back to school to get his doctorate. He's played in that USTA events all over the place and earning a top 25 world ranking. Welcome, tennis standout, Dr. Chris Grower, to the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. How's it going, Chris? Lee Guterman. Lee pitched in the big leagues from 1984 through 1996. He was born in Chattanooga. He went to Liberty University, where he set several school records. Drafted by the Mariners in 1981, Lee made his major league debut in 1984. He pitched for the Mariners, pitched for the Yankees, and the Cardinals during his 11-year big league career. In 1989, he saved 13 games for the Yankees. His manager, Dallas Green at the time, said he needed somebody he could depend on to throw strikes and not walk people, and Goot can do that, and he sure did. He was unscored upon in his first 19 appearances and threw 29 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings in 1989. In 1990, he led the Yankees in victories, and those were all out of the bullpen. Used as a starter and reliever primarily early in his career, he then finished as one of the top left-handed relievers in the game. He returned to Tennessee when his playing days were over and is still in the game. He's now a pitching instructor with East Tennessee Baseball in the North City, working with young kids. Lee said he's learned more since he ended his playing career, and he's passing his passion for pitching on to young people. He also holds the distinction of being able to hold 7 baseballs in his hand at the same time. And he'll be doing that out in the lobby when we get done tonight. One of the top left-handed relievers in big league history, Lee Guterman. Nice going, Lee. Congratulations. Charlie Patrone, widely regarded as one of the top personal trainers in the nation. Athletes from all over the country come to his wood gym off Ball Camp Byington Road to get bigger, stronger, faster, and tougher. He has a no-frills approach, just hard work. NFL players like Leonard Fournette, Josh Dobbs, Harrison Smith, Josh Malone are among the many who come to stay at Charlie's house going through his rigorous training process. He has trained NFL, Major League Baseball players like Todd Helton, MMA fighters, other world-class athletes, even an international paintball champion. Charlie also trains local and high school and college athletes. He advertises by word of mouth and the results he gets with his athletes. They come to the Wood Gym from all over, and if you want hard work, no frills, a chance to get better, come see Charlie. For over 30 years, he's trained some of the best to get even better. Tonight, he goes into the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, Charlie Patrone. Thanks, Charlie. Nice job. Jay Wise. Jay started hitting golf balls when he was 13. His dad, his grandfather were golfers, and Jay filed in behind him. His home course, Whittle Springs, and that's where he learned the game. He was a natural. He attended Fulton High School, was a district champion in 1993, an all-KIL performer in 94 and 95. Went on to play at Walter State Community College. He's won the Knoxville City Amateur Championship a remarkable 8 times, the last being in 2017. He played in the Knoxville City Amateur Tournament for the first time when he was 16. After playing at Walter State, he went on to trade school to become an electrician. Today, he's president of Progressive Electric and serves as the chairman of the board for the Electrical Training Alliance of Knoxville. One of the top amateur golfers in Knoxville history and in the state of Tennessee. Welcome to the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame, Jay Wise. Nice going, Jay. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2021 in the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. To speak on behalf of the class, please welcome back David Cutcliffe.
Thank you. Isn't it great to be batting ninth? I'm the last of the night. Nobody wants to see the ninth guy in the order bat. I do know that. Congratulations to the class of 2020. We all wanted to let them know they missed their in-person opportunity. Thinking about them, I am going to mention the greatest teammate that I've ever had. There's nothing you could say better about anyone than saying they're the greatest teammate, and that's my wife, Karen, who is right over there. She's incredible. And her mother, Nancy, my mother-in-law, and the Roane County connection. Awesome that you're here. Thank you for coming. Appreciate that. And then I want all the families of the inductees, and you can be the media family too. How about you all standing up and give everybody a rousing applause right here? Families, look, we got them everywhere. Yeah, yeah. All right. Forgive me, but I have to do this because I've seen too many of you, some I've spoken to, but I got to have the Tennessee Vol football players of the past that are here. Please stand up and let us recognize you guys. Tennessee Vol's in the house. Come on, you didn't all leave, come on. There we go. Yes, woo. I wasn't coming back to East Tennessee and not see some Tennessee football players. Man, that just makes me feel really good. Bridget Jones and her team as far as running this and all the folks associated with the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley, wow. How much, Bob? 200 and what?
Right now, 213, and we're going up.
All right, 213 and rising. Let's get that going up. Now, can't say enough about Bob Kessling. I'll be quick, but I got to say this about Philip and Peyton. I'm going to start with Philip. Philip's a lot of things. He's a great leader. He's got a lot of things that he did well as a head football coach. But what I want to tell you, and this is the grassroots of it starting in 1982, Philip Fortner is the best football coach on the grass, coaching football, coaching players, getting the most out of players. One word that pops in my mind every time I think of Philip Fortner is perseverance. Until it's right, it's not done. And that's what the great ones do. So God bless you, Philip. I appreciate your kind words, but you are the best football coach I ever worked with, without a doubt. Now, Peyton Manning, I told him he does it to himself. You know, in his retirement speech, he says, well, there may be some better, but I'm going to out-prepare, outwork. And yes, you do. You do out-prepare everybody. It's an amazing thing to watch him work. But Peyton Manning, and I mean this dead seriously, is a phenomenal athlete. Anything you ask him to do from an instruction standpoint, he immediately can do. He's got great feet, hands. He's a heck of a basketball player. He's a heck of a baseball player. Never gets talked about enough. He's one of the best pure athletes. And after that 2011 season when he was with us, he was working with some high-level people in Duke Sports Medicine. And after he was finished and had gone on, one of them that works with great athletes all over the world came to me and said, Peyton Manning, and there was a video of him in the Canton clip. He said, Peyton Manning's by far the best athlete I've ever worked with anywhere in the world. So you hush all that stuff about anybody better than you. There's none better than Peyton Manning. That's real. Now, I'm going to get real quickly to the class, but I gotta clarify something. I got a rumor and a mystery to reveal. Okay, the rumor was that Peyton Manning walked in here just ready to play quarterback, right? That we didn't have to teach him anything. That's a bad rumor. Bad rumor. He could do nothing. Matter of fact, the first time he broke the huddle in a team period, he goes up, he gets behind the right guard to take the snap. And this is the mystery revealed. So we had a fourth-team center then that was a non-scholarship player, and his last name was Omaha. And I said, Omaha, Omaha! And he moved over to the center. So be known that's where it came from. Don't you take credit. That's real. I am grateful to be here. This talent level is crazy. Look around at these people. I know Mike is not here. I knew Mike in high school, and I know what kind of pro football player, and yeah, he's got a Super Bowl ring as a pro coach. But I'm going to tell you, anything y'all want to play us in, we're ready. Anything. I'm telling you, we are. So first of all, just know this, we're going to bring Mike Caldwell off the edge on a blitz. You better be ready to take a hit. That's number one, okay? Number two, Heather Blakemore will outrun every one of you, outcompete every one of you, and she will lead us all the way. So you can count on that. Chris Grohr, I'm going to tell you what he'll do. He will serve it. He will slam it. He will literally make tennis a contact sport for you. So be prepared. There's no doubt. Lee Guterman, I got to tell you this, Lee. Besides being my hero, because my whole life I wanted to be a pitcher for the New York Yankees. Always. And I'm going to tell you, you see Lee up here? If y'all want to play us, he's going to put 7 baseballs in that big left hand, and he's going to throw all 7 of you. So 7 of you at you. Don't crowd the plate. All right. Now, Carly Pearson, what can I say? She simply wins at everything. An amazing competitor. Amazing. She is our driving force of unbeatable grit and determination. You have no chance, zero. And that's a fact. And then I'm going to tell you, you think we might get tired, okay? No, I'll tell you why. We train with Charlie Patron. We are super strong and ready to rock. We'll beat you in the fourth quarter. Jay, hit it long in the short grass wise. Yes, we can count on Jay. What he does, he leads us in chips, putts, drives, all to greater heights. And if you know anything about Jay, when people see his swing, you know what they say, don't you, Jay? It's electric. Those of you that know Jay know what I'm saying right there. It's definitely electric. And then Donnie Graham. Who's going to run the show for us? No doubt. He points us in the right direction. He gets us started in every way, and he is a true SEC champion. True champion. Thank you for all of you've done for other people in sports. And then, of course, there's Mickey Dearstone. You know what he does with that great voice? Yeah, Mickey talks our trash. Let him have it, Mickey. He talks our trash. He declares our victories, and he calls every play-by-play spot on. You can count on it. So I've decided this. I'm going to start a football team right here, okay? Here's what we've got, all right? We're going to start with, we've got Graham at center, Grohr and Guterman at the guards, Pearson and Patron at the tackles. We got Wise at tight end, Blakemore out wide, Caldwell lined up in the backfield, and Mickey Dearstone, yes, Mickey Dearstone is the quarterback. And let me tell you why. Mickey knows how to win because he has called so many Lady Vols Pat Summit basketball games. He knows how to win. How about it, Lady Vols, right? Without a question. Now, as far as I go, I'm the only team member left. Peyton and Coach Fortner had a couple of suggestions here. Peyton said, why don't you play left out like you normally play? And then Philip said, no, you can play tailback. Every time you try to get on the field, I'm going to say, get your tail back. So we know what my contribution is, and I can live with that because I have incredible teammates. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Congratulations to the family. God bless the Tennessee Vols and the University of Tennessee. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon. Take care. I forgot one thing. My son, Marcus, I just realized in India, his wife, Marcus, where are you? You sat way back in the back or you snuck out. I don't know which one you've done. Stand up and wave. There he is, Marcus, yeah. India, wave. Today's India's birthday. Happy birthday, India.
Thank you, Coach. Let's all of you stand up so they can see you. The class of 2021 of the Greater Knoxville Sports Hall of Fame. Good-looking group. Thank you so much for all your accomplishments. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanks for supporting the Hall of Fame and the Boys and Girls Club. Have a great night and drive safely on your way home. Thank you very much.